Hi, I'm Paula from Happy Yoga Wales, and this is a short grounding flow that is suitable for absolutely everybody, all levels, and you don't need any props for this practice. I always like to sit up on a block when I'm seated, so if you've got a cushion or something like that, then you might want to grab it. Otherwise, you don't really need anything. Okay, so we're going to get started right away in a seated position. I'm sitting cross-legged. You can sit however you like, with your shins crossed, or even bringing your feet up into more of a kind of half lotus kind of position, if that works for you. So just sit up nice and tall, stack the shoulders directly above the hips, and roll the shoulders back here. Just let the breath settle. If you can, breathing in and out of the nose, nice and gently, no effort required. And just gazing past the tip of the nose if you prefer to keep the eyes open. Or otherwise, just closing the eyes for a moment here. So checking in with anything that's going on with you physically today. Just noticing what's there, no need to judge. Noticing your energy. Becoming aware of any thoughts. And then bringing the attention back to the physical body. So when we're grounding, we're working with the root chakra and really acknowledging that we are part of nature, we are physical beings. And paying special attention today to the lower body, although we will be working through the whole body nice and gently too. So just taking a few more breaths here. And if it works for you, maybe repeating the affirmation, I am grounded, or even I am at home in my body. And just asking yourself, what does it mean to you to be grounded? Just taking one more breath here, inhaling deeply this time. Let the ribs expand, the belly expand. And exhale, sigh out of the mouth. Lovely. So if the eyes are closed, you can blink them open now, but just keeping the gaze low. So really keeping our energy aiming towards the ground. And from here, we're just going to crawl the fingertips forwards. If you're sitting up on a block, just pressing the hips back to keep that counterbalance and that nice stretch out of the low back. Dipping the chin in slightly, stretching through the sides of the waist, all the way up through the whole length of the spine. Breathing into any spaces that feel tight. And softening with every exhale. And then crawling the hands back in, using the arms as much as you need to. And then just walk the fingertips behind, just behind the hips, and reach through the chestboard and through the collarbones, let the shoulders relax down. Maybe lifting the chin slightly here, raising the gaze. Another big breath here. And exhaling it out, lowering the chin back down and bringing the shoulders back above the hips. So we're going to switch the cross of the legs, bringing the other leg in front. You can stay up on your block or your cushion if that's where you are. And we're going to bring some movement into the upper body. So start by reaching tall through the crown of the head, inhaling. And exhale, soften the shoulders down. Bringing the fingertips out to the side, moving with the breath. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, finding a little side bend, letting the arm drop down. Either side, we're going to be doing both. Inhaling back through center. And exhale, other side. So just taking it nice and easy. Inhaling through center. And then coming into a twist, so bringing the hand down to the opposite knee. Again, we'll be doing both sides, so just whichever way comes naturally to you first. Taking an extra breath here, filling into the belly. Lengthening through the crown as you inhale. Softening into the twist as you exhale. And on your Our next inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhaling into the twist on the other side. Remembering you can move with your own breath. If my pace is different to yours, then just moving at a speed, a rhythm that works for you. Reducing any stress. Remembering this is your practice, your time. On your next inhale, sweep the arms up, reach, reach, reach. And then exhale, bring the hands down through heart center. Take the arms out wide, reach through the fingertips so the palms are facing forward, thumbs up to the sky. And then give yourself a hug, bringing the right arm underneath the left. You can stay here. So still rooted down through those sits bones, but getting the stretch into the upper body and again, connecting to our physical body. So staying here or coming into eagle arms, bringing the backs of the forearms towards each other, maybe even crossing and wrapping the hands towards each other. Notice that if that starts to make the shoulders hunch up, if it creates tension, then just relax into a place that feels a little bit more full of ease for you today. It's early in the morning here for me, so just taking it easy. And then slowly releasing, taking those arms out wide, we're coming straight into the other side. So reach first, find space as we inhale, and then exhale, bringing the opposite arm underneath, so the left arm underneath, giving yourself a hug, either staying here or finding a different version of our eagle pose, or eagle arms. So full eagle, we would do standing up. We're not going to be doing any standing poses today, just staying nice and close to the ground. Noticing the difference here from this side to the first side. Maybe you feel a little more or less tension across the back of the shoulders, through the neck. Just softening where you can. And then exhale, releasing that. And then last thing here, inhale tall through the crown of the head, crawling the fingertips forward, coming into our little reach and stretch through the hips on the other side. So again, pressing the hips back, reaching out of the low back and through the sides of the waist. Breathing deeply. And exhale. Crawling the fingertips all the way back in. And then bringing the block or the cushion out from underneath you if you have one there. And we're going to come into a few stretches for the lower body. So you could actually keep your block underneath you, but I prefer to do these without. So bringing the left foot into the inside of that right thigh and just push the hips back so the pelvis is tilting forward slightly. And this doesn't need to be really wide. We don't want any stress or strain here. Reaching tall through the crown on an inhale and turning the chest towards your straight leg. So this is my right leg. Again, we're doing these both sides. So if you've got the other leg out, that's absolutely fine. And crawling the hands forward so you feel that gentle stretch through the back of the leg. Keep the toes flexed so they're coming back towards the shin, and then just dip the chin in slightly so the spine and the neck are in one long line. Just taking a few deep breaths here into the belly. Aiming to feel this stretch evenly through the back of the leg, through the hip and the spine. If you notice it's really tight through the hamstrings, just pop a little bend in that knee or come out of the stretch slightly. And then crawling the hands back up towards the hips, coming to sit up tall. From here, just take your left hand behind you and we're just going to lift the hips. So the right hand can stay on the hip, or if you want to, you can take it overhead. So leaning back into that left arm, making sure the shoulder is down, the collarbones are broad. And again, the right hand can be on the hip, or maybe sweep it overhead, finding a nice long line from that right foot through the waist into the right fingertips. One more breath here. And exhale, coming back down. Lovely. So then bringing the soles of the feet together and finding our butterfly pose. So again, sitting up tall, letting the pelvis tilt forwards as much as possible here to give yourself a little bit of space to open up through the hips. holding onto the ankles as you inhale, lengthen through the crown, and then exhale, reaching forward just as much as is comfortable, leading from the chest. So we don't want to round here. So keeping the spine straight for this version today. Then bringing the hands to the feet. Maybe it feels good to find a little massage of the inner arches. So just rubbing the thumbs nice and slowly along that inner edge of the foot. Just taking a couple more breaths here. And then when you're ready, using the hands again to bring the shoulders back above the hips. Taking the other leg out long this time, so the left leg goes out long and the right foot comes into the inner thigh. Sit up nice and tall, let the pelvis come forwards and turning this chest towards the left leg. And then bringing the hands out in front, just crawling forwards as much as is comfortable. Keeping a little bend in that knee to avoid overstretching the hamstrings. So this long leg is still active. So by drawing the toes back, we're protecting our hamstrings and stopping from overstretching. Pressing the heel gently into the ground. So again, inhaling, lengthening, and exhaling, softening. One more breath here. And then using the hands to bring the shoulders back above the hips. Take your right hand behind the right hip this time, pressing into the hand, letting that shoulder come all the way down. So we're protecting the shoulder joint here, lifting the hips, squeezing the muscles at the back of the legs and the glutes. And then taking this left arm up and over if that feels good to you. Always the option to keep the hand on the hip. So taking a breath here. And then exhale, slowly lowering the hips back down. Lovely. Okay, so bringing the ankles, so crossing over the ankles and then coming all the way over to our hands and knees. Just a little transition as we bring the knees out wide, big toes to touch, sinking the hips down and finding a child's pose here. So taking the arms forward and letting the forehead come down to the mat. And just softening here. So this is the ultimate grounding pose, coming back into the physical body, into the self. And just taking a couple more breaths here. And then on your next inhale, we're going to lift the hips and come up into a tabletop position. From here, we're going to tuck the toes under and then lift the hips into our downward facing dog. So pressing really firmly into the hands, lifting the hips as high as we can, keeping a little bend in the knees, focusing more on length through the spine. And then pedaling the legs out one at a time, taking the heels towards the ground. Just taking it nice and easy, really focusing again on the lower body here, keeping the upper body nice and relaxed, no tension through the face and the jaw, collarbones broad. And then from here we're just going to walk the feet all the way to the front of the mat, taking them out a little bit wider than the hips, bending the knees as much as you want to, taking a little forward fold here, maybe holding opposite arms, opposite elbows. A little sway side to side, feeling the ground beneath the feet. And then releasing the elbows if you were holding onto them. We're going to turn the toes out slightly and sink down into our yogi squat. So take it nice and slow here, there's no rush to come down. So feeling that movement as we go, maybe just gently rocking the hips side to side. And as you come lower down, maybe the heels want to lift, that's absolutely fine. So you can shift the weight forwards using the ground or even a chair here as a support. Or maybe the heels come all the way down to the mat or to the floor. You could even bring the hands to heart center. So just picking your version of the pose here. Wherever you are, keep the upper body nice and relaxed with a long, straight spine if you can. Inhaling, lengthening one more time. And exhaling, sinking the hips down. And then just bringing the hands back to the ground, one hand in front and one hand behind as you lower the hips all the way down, gracefully or not, back to our seated position. So we're going to end in a seat today, back where we started. So either sitting on the floor or on your block, and then rolling the shoulders back. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And exhale, feel yourself rooting down even deeper into the ground. Keeping the hands on the knees just for a couple of breaths here, noticing how you feel. Just like we did at the start of our short practice, checking in with the physical body, noticing any emotions, becoming aware of any thoughts. And then bringing the hands out to the side, take a big inhale, sweep the arms overhead. And exhale, bring the hands down to heart center. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I do hope you enjoyed this practice. If you did, then please remember to like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. And of course, please do share this with anybody who might find this useful. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon on the mat.